I'm Nick Danzinger, a photographer and documentary filmmaker, and this is about my project to follow the same individuals and families in 8 different countries on 4 different continents. It all began in 2005 when I was commissioned by World Vision to go and photograph people living across the world to find out how they were doing under a UN program. After I left, I thought, what's happened to those people? Here's this grand project by the United Nations, instigated and signed by every member state in the world. And I then decided the only way to truly measure whether there's been progress and change in people's lives was to go back to the very same individuals and families to see what had or hadn't changed in their lives. This is one of the first pictures that I took on this journey. This is Abbas going down the mine shaft, 23 meters deep, no security devices whatsoever. If he slips, he will plunge to his death. He works 363 days a year, 9 hours a day. This is Irene. She was desperate to remain at school, but didn't have the $1 that was necessary for the textbooks and the school supplies for her to remain at school. So she knew the only way that she could raise that money was to sell herself. 5 years later, Irene is HIV positive. But today, 2015, she is now struggling to bring up her own family and will do everything but sex work to ensure that her children will get an education so that they don't end up in the situation that she did. Jiva is one of the really positive stories. When I first photographed Jiva, the transgender community weren't recognized. His dream was to get a bachelor's degree, go to university, get a degree in law. And 10 years on, Jiva has not only achieved that, but now runs a self-help center. So quite a remarkable transformation. I'm hoping that through Rory McLean's talent that we can actually explain the reality of these situations and stories and who these people are and what they go through on a daily basis. And when I hear organizations like the United Nations saying how many tens of millions have been brought out of poverty, well, certainly most of the people, not all of them, but most of the people I came across, for them, very little has changed. People always say, you know, nothing ever changes, why bother? You couldn't be further from the truth. Think of how we all lived in Europe not so long ago. Think even about the rights that we are afforded today that we didn't used to have. This project is undoubtedly the most fascinating project that I've had the opportunity to work on in 30 years of producing photography.